Welcome to the Indie Author Showcase. I am a very sick and very not on his game Chad Robert Morgan.
And I'm Alexander Morgan, who is being less of the worst. Um, so yeah, no, we need to put something out there that this man is sick. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my. Oh my God. So it's gonna be a bit of a shorter one today, lads and
I don't
lasses.
know about that, but okay.
Let me dream.
I will power through it
Oh God,
as
please
best
don't.
I can.
Oh God, please don't.
I mean I've been sleeping like all day. I have been out of it today. But
And there's a reason my day has been good.
the love and support I get from my family
You're welcome.
knows no bounds.
It does. Well, actually, no, it does know some bounds.
Apparently,
Some very tiny bounds.
some huge friggin' bounds, like the Great Wall of China bounds.
I thought you meant like bounds like I can only go this. So, in that case, yes. Then if you mean like a wall, then yes, very high bounds.
I don't succeed because of my family. I succeed in spite of them.
I don't succeed in is a strong word.
Anywho,
Anywho.
one thing I wanted to talk. First of all, we're 1 week away from Creep IE,
Oh my days.
so there will be no podcast next week because we will be busy on the show floor at Creep IE setting up. Hopefully selling a lot of books and a lot of book-related merch.
Oh yeah, that'd be so awesome. That would be a first. Sorry, I'm
We
negative.
did decent. We made profit last time, barely.
Joy.
Um, so and Creep IE, that was Creep IE Aftermath. So Creep IE is supposed to be bigger.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
So I'm hoping it's going to be a lot busier. And so use promo code Spectral with a K.
With a K.
Don't know why it's Spectral with a K, but that's what they gave us. But
Because they hate us.
use promo code Spectral with a K to get $5 off each ticket to get into Creep IE.
Yeah.
Find us at booth 521. We will have special Friday only deals, huge discounts on our 3D printed monsters and a few other surprises on Friday. So
Right.
catch us there on that first day. Um, After that, we are scheduled for WonderCon, and we just got into halfway to
Wait.
Halloween Festival.
Wait. We have a schedule?
We do have a
Okay,
schedule.
just thought we winged it.
No, 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 no. We got to plan this stuff like months in advance.
Oh, I'm learning new things here.
Speaking of which,
Oh,
I got a little bit of an update on San Diego Comic Con.
yeah.
So the plan was this year we were going to skip San Diego Comic Con, right?
You say that like that's changing.
No, it's not changing, but here's where it might change. So last year we didn't take the booth and went to our friend Scott Campbell,
Yeah.
right? Um, Robert S. Campbell, if you're nasty.
Oh,
Um,
that's nasty.
yeah.
Stop being nasty.
He actually had a very good show down there.
How good?
Well, he had the one book and he sold like 150 copies.
Oh,
So,
that's so jolly. That's so jolly.
when I did San Diego Comic Con, I went down there with the first time was like 3 books, and between the three of them, I almost sold 100. So,
You almost sold 100?
almost. It was like 93, 97, something
I'm
like that.
so impressed. It's more than I expected that to sell.
Doing 100 copies of a book at a convention is doing good. That is from everybody I've talked to. If you're doing 100, you're doing good.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and he did 150, so he did gangbusters. So,
Wait, what did he work on again? Like, he worked on Fallout New Vegas and Animal Jam.
no, he didn't work on.
What was it?
He worked on, I believe it was the original Fallout.
Oh.
So it wasn't New Vegas. It was either the original or part two, one or the other. But he was like the lead game designer on that, and he also worked on Starblood Arena. But he also did like a Neopets game.
Neopets!
He said surprisingly he had a lot of people coming up to him saying, "Dude, that was my jam. I love that game."
Yeah, because Neopets was peak. How do you know Neopets isn't my jam?
Um,
How do you not know about my Neopets AO3 fanfiction account?
okay. Anywho, moving
Everyone
on.
knows about my patent pending.
Moving on, says the person who wants it short and sweet.
Oh, right.
So this year I wasn't taking the booth because I'm broke as hell and I couldn't afford the
Mm,
ticket. Because San Diego Comic Con, that booth is expensive. It's like 3 grand,
right.
right? The only reason I did it the first 2 times was the first time I basically took it off Chris's hands for free, and the second time they asked me to pay for half.
So
So,
basically, what I'm hearing is that you went like a bum. I'm joking.
well, third year it went to Scott, and I
Yeah.
was more than willing to let him have it.
Yeah.
And then this year, Chris was wondering if any of us wanted to take it. Scott doesn't have anything to show. He doesn't have a new book yet, and I couldn't afford it. So he was going, and we at one point we were trying to see if we could get a fellow indie author to take it, but that deal fell through as well. So we couldn't offload the booth, and so he decided that he was just going to have to let it go, and that was going to be the end of San Diego Comic Con. Okay, so not saying that I mean, things would have to have changed pretty drastically for us to have gone back there because, again, it is very expensive for us to do San Diego Comic Con. But it was always nice to have that option. Well, that option was closing. But then something changed,
What changed?
the Altadena fire.
What?
So, sad to say, Chris's house that he was moving into, he got married, he bought a new house, they were moving their stuff in, they were getting ready to move into their brand new house, and it burned down in one of the wildfires. I'm assuming it's the Altadena one, but um, it burned down in one of the fires that is currently ransacking California right now, especially in the northern LA County area.
Right.
Okay. Because his house burned down, and because he has a long history with San Diego Comic Con, um, they are going to basically give him an extension. So um, next year, if he still wants it, he can have his booth back.
Oh.
So, um, which is again, first of all, kudos to San Diego Comic Con for stepping up and supporting those who have suffered during these wildfires. I mean, they didn't have to do that. There's
Yeah, but I feel like that's something that.
I mean, it's great that they did that. I mean, it's not like there's anything in a contract forcing them to do that or anything like that. But this was a really stand-up thing for them to do.
Right.
Um, so kudos for that. Chances are next year it's probably going to go back to Scott,
Right.
because he's planning on having his book. He's planning on having his book finished for next year.
He's on that grind.
I don't think he started, to be honest. But you know him; he wrote that book in like something like what, like 3 hours or something. It was like incredibly short.
No, like
It was a ridiculously condensed schedule.
yeah.
I still don't think he's gotten the audiobook done at this point, but that's all right. Um,
Well, he's stocked up on work. I kind of get it.
well, yeah, no, he's very busy at work. That much is true. Um,
See, look at me being so understanding.
yeah, no, I'm not saying
You hate him.
I do not.
You hate your friends.
I do not.
Yes, how
They
dare
wouldn't
you?
be my friends if I hated them. That's not how that works.
Oh,
So, anywho, speaking of supposedly hating my friends, you know what I just did for them?
what?
So, this was something I wanted to do for a while. Chris Williams, as we were mentioning, has helped me with the book covers of two of my books so far. It is helping me on my next one, which is also a story. I'll tell you that in a minute. And he helped Scott on his book. So he's done 3 book covers and working on a fourth so far between the two of us. So this was something I wanted to do for a while, but I never had the cash. It was I wanted to have the book covers printed out on canvas so he can hang it up on the wall, right? Not, and so long story short, I had a little bit of cash.
A little bit of
A little
cash.
bit of cash.
Not a lot.
I paid off a couple bills and then I had a little bit left over. I'm like, you know what? I've been talking about doing this for a while. It's not that expensive to do.
It's only $55,000.
Nah, it came out to be like about 165 total
Joyous.
with shipping and everything. Um, so yeah, I mean, but I had a few bucks, so I finally ordered all 3 of the book covers both mine and Scott's,
Right.
to have it sent to Chris.
Joy.
So so now he's got artwork to set up in his brand new house once he actually gets a brand new house, once his house is rebuilt or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, whenever his house is not ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we did for our good friend. Now, I mentioned last week about he's supposed to be doing the cover, and I didn't want to badger him because he's got issues he's dealing with, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Is
his
it?
house is ashes. It's kind of an
Yeah,
issue.
kind of an issue last time I checked.
Yeah. So I didn't want to badger him, but
Who would?
we're coming up to the con, and I needed at least the title art so I can put it on the bookmark and say coming soon and everything like that, so I can plug the new book. You know, the new book I wanted to be rated by Creep IE. It's not going to be rated by Creep IE, but I could at least plug it and say it's on the way. All right, it's going through its final edits,
Yeah.
and I'm also working on the audiobook as I edit it.
Yeah.
I haven't worked on it this week because I feel like crap, but that's neither here nor there. So I was like, look, I hate to bring it up. If you're not in the mindset to do it, I understand. I just need to know, and I'll try to whip something up myself, even if it's just placeholder. He's like, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. It'll keep my mind off the fires. I said, I need the distraction. I said, okay, cool, right?
Yeah.
So we went to Scott. We took the rough draft of the book, converted it with an AI narrator so he can listen to it.
Mhm.
um, with all the problems that comes with, but that's all right. Um, but just so he had a quick and dirty version of the audiobook that he can listen to.
Mhm.
And it's yeah, so this will preoccupy me and keep my mind off the fire. So okay, great. And then like about a day later, I remembered what's in the book.
As in?
Well, you read it, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens around chapter 3
Mhm.
is there's a big giant fire
Right.
that threatens a housing project.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not a good look.
Then at the end of the book, the guy tries to set the whole housing project on fire.
Yeah, no, really not a good look.
So I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
I was like, yeah. So finally, he got me the art and a couple of first passes at some book cover art, and I was like, okay, well, I got the title art. That's what I really reunite right now, and here's some ideas for what we can do with the book cover. We got about another month or two before we need the book cover, so that's fine. No pressure there. And I was like, really sorry about that because I thought about it later. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to get my mind off the fire, and there's a big fire in the first couple chapters. Like, how far are you into the book? It's about halfway. It's like, oh, yeah, there's another one. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I'd react that way too. If my house got set on fire and you basically hand me a book saying, ha ha, your house is on fire, ha ha ha, I'd be kind of pissed too.
Yeah, so
No, rightfully so. I'm pissed at you right now. How dare you do that to your good friend? How dare you? You hate him. You hate your friends.
speaking of good friends, we got. Are you like trying to basically just read the book now because you didn't read it in time for the
Pretty
review?
much.
You did not finish the book?
No, I did. I'm joking with you on this one.
Uh,
I did read the book.
because the camera's watching you with your nose in the book face down this entire time.
Yeah.
You get negative comments on this on Opus Clip. You know this, right?
What is Opus Clip?
Okay,
Segway.
very good. Ba-dum-bum. Thank you very much for setting me up.
You're welcome.
So, what we do as a marketing tool is there's a program called Opus Clip,
Opus Clip.
right?
Yeah.
Seriously, put your phone down.
I'm not on my phone.
I can see it in the book.
I am not
I can see it
on
sitting in the
my
book.
phone.
Come on, that is like, 1950s like
Okay.
spy thing.
Yeah.
That ain't working, man.
There.
Trying to hide a Superman comic book in your textbook kind of thing. That's old
Me,
school.
I would.
That's old school.
Uh,
Okay.
you got me.
So what we do is we feed the podcast into a program called Opus Clip, right? And this is a really nice program. What it does is, using the dreaded AI. It cuts up and formats the podcast into things that fit on like TikTok, Instagram Reels, that kind of thing.
When you say it's as the kids say, awesome sauce.
Hmm.
Oh my god, he's getting frisky up in here.
And what the AI program does is it tries to find clips in the podcast that it thinks are going to be catchy, that it thinks it's going to be viral,
Oh my god.
that kind of thing. I don't know how successful it is. We got one clip that just skyrocketed, had like something like 500 views for some reason. It was,
That's skyrocketing for you?
I think it was well, yeah, for a small podcast, we don't have a huge audience.
I have more views.
Uh-huh. Bite me. I see how well you're supporting me too. So, um,
Hell, I have more likes than that.
anywho, um, I think it was the one where you were calling me racist because I was not married to every Filipino woman in the world.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's
So,
not. Well, maybe you would get more results if you were funny,
uh-huh.
and maybe,
I'm waiting for you to be funny.
it's because they know that you're racist.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get me canceled so you don't have to do the
Or
podcast
maybe
anymore.
I'm trying to make another viral clip of you being racist, huh? Because the dog's walking. He's looking at me. He's looking at you. He knows you're racist.
Anywho,
He knows.
anywho,
The dog realized.
anywho.
Uh huh.
So, Opus Clip, cuts it up. It reorganizes the images so it's like usually one's on top and the other, does the subtitles and everything like that, and
One's
and then it throws it up on many of the social medias.
one is what?
One is what?
One is what?
What are you asking me?
Continue.
See what I have to deal with? Any
No, the joke was you said one is way bigger than the other, and I'm like, one is what?
No, I said it puts like one of us under the other depending on who's
Yeah.
talking, so we fit on
One is
the
one.
TikTok
That's odd. Anyways,
ratio,
yeah,
the phone,
go
the
go go.
vertical. Okay. Do wish they added blue sky support, but that's another story. Um, but yeah, then I can set it on the schedule and I can schedule all the clips of when it's going to go where and everything like that, and it just does it all automatically. And so it's basically flooding the zone with little clips of the podcast, right? And it's meant to be a little advertisement. If you like this little clip, you think it's funny, check out the podcast, right? Problem is that some of these clips are so out of context, right? I've had a few and I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I'm watching. This makes absolutely no sense, but I'm going to keep watching it because it is hilarious or something like that, right? So, so I'm just doing a bit of an explainer for those who see one of our clips. Basically, the algorithm took a chunk from the podcast, slapped it on there because I thought that was a good clip.
How good of a clip?
Yeah, if it gets you talking about it, it can't be that bad.
How good of a clip? Inform me of this, father. How good of a clip?
Most of the time, it does pretty good. Once in a while, it doesn't understand what we're saying and it gives it some like really weird, like it published a clip and I usually catch them and edit them, but I missed this one. We were talking about, God, what were we talking about?
What were we talking about?
I don't know, but for some reason the clip thought we were talking about like my sister's sex life or something like that.
What?
Never mentioned it. I don't know where that came from.
I mean, I
But the AI thought that's what we were talking about.
last time I
Or your sister's sex life or something. I don't know what
what?
the it said, it labeled it as something like that, and I'm like, okay, I should have caught that one, and
You shut up.
that one slipped through the cracks.
It did.
And the clip has nothing to do with that. If you watch the clip, it's nothing about either your sister or my sister. So I don't know what the hell.
Why are we talking about sisters' sex lives?
I don't know. Why are you creasing my book?
Stop this chicanery.
So anyway, but that's Opus Clip. If you're seeing reels on Instagram or on TikTok and you're trying to figure out what the hell are you watching, it's a clip of the show. If you have any questions,
Stop looking into my sister's sex life.
check out the podcast.
Oh yeah, that works too.
Yeah. So we got a few announcements. Um, So coming May 1st, a friend of the show, Scott Harper, has a new book coming out.
Yeah.
A novella of the vampiric undead in the Hyborian Age and other horrifying stories.
That's kind of awesome.
Blood Quest.
Blood Quest.
Yep, coming May 1st.
Wow.
I thought I had seen something about a book from our friend Todd Fonestock, but
Oh.
I went to go look for it, and his last book was published July 2nd of last year. That would be book 5 of the Eldros Legacy, Bane of Giants. So that, I think, is the last one he has printed.
Oh.
So I'm not sure where that, um, because I swear to God, I thought I saw it, but I looked it up, and the one it was talking about was published a couple of years ago. So his latest one was the um, end of the Eldros Legacy.
End of the Eldros Legacy.
Well, it's book 5 of 5, so unless he's planning on doing a book 6.
Right.
Um,
I'm
and then in December, um, uh, Dicey Grinner published an erotic psycho horror anthology
Oh.
called Demented Dimension,
Well, that sounds fun.
Part 2. Actually,
Part 2?
Part 2.
Crazy that.
See, now this is actually what I'm looking forward to. I would like to read something like this for the podcast, but I got to wait till you turn 18, so I got at least one more year.
What?
Well, I can't have you read something like this when you're underage. It's
Oh, because it has sexy times
it does
in it.
say it's erotic psycho horror and
Oh, it has sexy times in it. I see.
that's what erotic means. Yes, thank you
Like
for
there's
catching up with
sexy
the
times?
conversation.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and I know you're a huge fan of the sexy times.
Oh, how do you know I love sexy times?
Yes. See, I love the sexy times. I want to read that book for the podcast, but I got to deal with you.
Oh, you
So.
hate me.
No, I just know that's not your thing, and I know that's not going to be a good review if only one of us is digging the context or digging the subject matter.
No, that's real.
So,
I'm not a fan of sexy times.
yeah, please put the phone away.
Unless it's 50 Shades of Grey, of course.
Uh-huh, you don't read 50 Shades.
Oh, how'd you know that?
I know you don't read 50 Shades
How?
of Grey. I know every book in your goddamn room. You have books you haven't opened yet.
Really?
Yes.
What book am I reading?
Right now you're reading Unnamable.
Yes, but what?
And that is a good segue.
Oh, joy. Yeah, I am.
Actually, you were telling me you were rereading The Baby Eater.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm doing that too.
Mm-hmm. And you were reading, what was it? Was it Dante's Inferno?
Yes. Yeah. Dante's Inferno's Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just recently finished reading Unnamable.
Yes. Segway.
Why don't you read the back of the book?
The back of the book?
The back of the book.
Nathaniel Koto is ashamed of his dark secret. For 18 years, he's fled from his past, desperate to escape his dreaded memories forever. In search of gold and a fresh start, he leads his soldier on a rescue mission deep into the mountains. But as they venture on, he begins to suspect something other than war-crazed Confederates is stalking his men. He fears that the entities abducting his crew are linked to his buried sins and the malformed brother who seeks his revenge. Can he confront his inner demons to save his troops, or will he doom them all to a fate worse than death? With that being said, what do you think?
So I liked it. So this takes place during the Reconstruction era.
Yeah.
Right? Post-Civil War.
Yeah. Call this AP World History.
Mm-hmm.
Reference to my class.
In reading or listening, I listened to it on Audible. In reading the author's notes, he was actually doing something similar that our friend Scott Campbell was doing, which is he meant this as a sequel to an H.P. Lovecraft novel.
Wow.
Or short story.
I'm learning new things. Tell me more.
Well, according to the author, as the book evolved, he realized it didn't quite fit into H.P. Lovecraft's world.
Right.
So it kind of became its own thing. But he started it as a sequel to H.P. Lovecraft.
Go individuality.
Mm-hmm.
I love individuality. As much as you hate mine, I love mine.
When did I say I hate your individuality?
Anyways. Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty good. I thought the horror was well written. I thought the characters were nice. No, I thought it was good. I just think, no, I think, I don't know. One thing I didn't like is that I feel like with this, I feel like a story like this would be better as not as a first person, I feel. But that is just me and how I would like a story like this. That is just a preference thing.
No, I thought it worked just fine as a first person. Uh, I mean, we are really dealing with the main character's guilt, which is one of the three major pillars of a good horror, not psychological horror.
Guilt. Remember
Um,
that, kids.
well, it's the protagonist's uh, inner torment, the protagonist's inner demons, right?
I'm letting my demons out. Sorry.
Well, there's three tenets to psychological horror. It's the the self, um, the uncanny,
Mm-hmm.
and the other, right?
Is the other a reference to me being really cool?
No. So, uh, in terms of him dealing with his own personal shame and his own personal guilt, that's the horror book dealing with the self. The misshapen um, creatures that are attacking him and his men would probably count as the other. That's something that is so alien as to be unrecognizable, right? That's a big thing of Lovecraft is having these big, huge alien things that are so undescribable. He actually doesn't describe them, right? He just kind of lets your imagination run free with that. It's like, oh, he saw something that was beyond his imagination and he went nuts, right? Then for the uncanny, you have his brother, which is a person born with very grotesque birth defect, right? And that's what the uncanny is something that it's supposed to be normal but isn't,
Yeah.
right? Like you have a street at night and one of the street lamps are flickering, the light bulb's going out. That's a sense of the uncanny. That gives you a sense of unease because that light should be on, and the fact that it's not working properly acts really weird. Um, uh, if you see somebody if you think about back to Tomie,
Tome?
Tomei, is it Tomei or Tomie?
Tome.
Um, well, I just
Oh, actually, it's Tommy.
Tomei, yeah. So like you saw pictures, like the one where she's taking pictures of Tomei, and in the pictures she's got like a second head coming out,
Tome.
right? Um, well, I just watched it on Crunchyroll, and I think they pronounced it Tomie. So I mean, I don't think the English pronunciation is really kind of rock solid on that. I think they keep changing their mind. But anyway, point being is that the one that they adapted on Netflix, she took pictures of her, and when they came out, she had this like really weird second head coming out or on the side. That's a sense of the uncanny because you expect her to look like this beautiful young woman, but then there's something off that throws everything off, right? That's different from like um, the other, which like big giant spider monster thing or a kaiju or something like that. That's the other. That's something completely alien. So those are the three tenets of psychological horror, and this book hits all three of those notes. Um, so having it in a first person helps him hit that first note even harder because it is about it does focus on his personal um, issues
Yeah.
with his brother. Um, so no, I thought it was rock solid. It is a fairly short book. Um, which I was going to comment about, but considering how quickly we got to get these books done, I kind of appreciated a short read.
Yeah, no, it was nice. It was really good.
Yeah, it flowed. There's no fluff. I mean, I think it's the right length. I mean, it didn't drag and it didn't go too fast. It covered all the notes and yeah, no, it is a really good solid book, and I was really happy with this one.
Yeah.
I think this one might be a contender for Book of the Year. Uh, I mean, we're only in January, so it's a little too early to tell, but I would say that one's definitely on the list.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
Without, where can you find us?
Well, you can find us at shopspectralink.com,
Based.
where you can find our books and book-related merch, such as T-shirts, tote bags, the like. Not only for our books, but also for the podcast. If you want if you want in Indiana, if you want an indie author showcase beer cozy,
Mm-hmm.
or an Indiana, or again Indiana. See, I can't talk. My nose is stuffed up. An indie author showcase tote bag or indie author showcase T-shirt or hat. Go to shopspectralink.com. You purchase one of those, it will help support the podcast and support us.
Mm-hmm.
So, even if you don't buy any of the indie author showcase merch, if you buy anything related to the book, it still helps the podcast because it's helping us.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find us next week, January 1st to February 2nd, at the Ontario Convention Center for Creep IE, the Inland Empire's premier horror convention. Remember to use promo code Spectral with a K to get $5 off your ticket. Then still have not figured out what's going on with Vampire Weekend. I did find out that Casey Cordell is supposed to be at Vampire Weekend. So is Scott Harper. So there's definitely a couple of authors we recognize that will be at Vampire Weekend. We did apply and I never heard back. So hopefully we will be at Vampire Weekend as well. If not, go see our friends Scott Harper and Casey Cordell. Um, and catch us when we hit the one next one after that would be in March. I think it's March 23rd to 25th, which would be WonderCon in the Anaheim Convention Center. You really are trying to finish this book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't read the book for the review, did you?
I did.
Uh-huh.
He doubts me.
Well, considering you're reading it right in front of me when we're trying to finish up this
I do this
podcast.
for all the books.
Uh-huh. Anywho. Then in May, we got two cons back to back. The beginning of May, we're going to have Halfway to Halloween Festival in Riverside.
Yeah.
And then at the end of May, we will have Monster Palooza.
Enjoy.
So we're going to have a busy May.
Mm-hmm. And with that,
And with that,
oh, we said toodaloo.
we really got to find a better sign off.
Bye. Bye.
I get so much love and support from my son.
Oh man.